Guys, welcome back to the Forging Elite Fathers podcast. I'm Casey.
And I'm Rob.
We're glad to have you for episode 6. Rob and I, will be discussing, recapping last week and activities, things that have gone on in our life this past week, and talking about some fun things today. So hang tight with us. Hope you have been getting some great things out of these episodes. We have personally, and we'll discuss that. But let's kick things off with our mission statement and our goals. Here at Forging Elite Fathers, we are not yet elite. We desire to be. We don't arrive elite. We're forged into it. We believe an elite father loves and leads his family as Jesus leads and loves the church and is constantly, willingly being sanctified to be like Christ. We believe that CrossFit is the best method for health and wellness due to its efficient and varied nature. And our goals are to encourage and unite Christian fathers into fruitful relationship with Jesus and connect them with a local church and a local CrossFit affiliate. We were able to go over that and discuss those goals and what all that means in day-to-day life last week with Ben Barker. He was a great guest. He's an Arkansas guy. Joins us, just a couple of hours down the road. A lot of good stuff came out of that conversation. So if you haven't heard that conversation, go back and listen to it, and then come back here and catch up on this one. But Rob, to recap that, what's something that you pulled out of that conversation that stuck with you?
Yeah, man. One thing that I noticed especially between him and our conversation with Adrian, one common thread that I've seen is that, man, they regularly pray and are in Scripture, not just with themselves, but with their wives and with their family.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something I could do better about.
Myself included. It has been challenging to me, and over the past couple of weeks, I will say that probably have prayed with my wife twice now, which is 2 times more than I have in probably the past months. I don't know, like just her and I praying together. So that's been encouraging. It's been motivating to me in the right direction. Right.
Right. I think, I think I've mentioned before the importance of the dinner table, about how when Jesus gives his covenant to his people, it's always around a dinner table. And so the importance of just bringing the family together around the table, it just seems real important to me. And so we try to do that at least 3 or 4 times a week. And anytime we definitely give we say a blessing over the meal, and then we pray. So our kids are there, my wife and I are there present with them, and we pray. And then we also pray with our girls before they go to sleep. We pray with them there. But yeah, just that setting aside that time where, after everything is done for the day, or even before the day begins, we have not made that a priority of just my wife and I intentionally praying together. But man, I think that's a good insight to start.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one thing that's important. We're doing this podcast, and not because we are, just like we state in our mission statement and our goals, we are not elite, and we don't have it figured out. I mean, we've got young kids. We've been married for quite a few years, but we are on this road to improving and being a better father, a better husband, a better leader in our jobs, all those things. And the goal selfishly for me out of this is to take things to improve my life in those ways from these men who also don't have it completely figured out, but have other experiences and are implementing things that work for them.
Right.
Yeah. And guys, I think in general, it's okay to admit that. I don't want to put on this face like I have it figured out. And you don't want to do that either. I know you, Rob.
Right.
Like, we want to be honest about where we are, the struggles that we have, and the areas that we want to improve. And then we want to actively improve on those things. So, yeah. And that brings us into the gym. That brings us, that comes into our personal life in all kinds of ways. So yeah, just continue to take one step at a time and pursue those goals, which we'll talk about in a second on goal setting. But another thing that occurred around the CrossFit world this past week was a Memorial Day. And in the CrossFit space, that means that for most anyways, that Murph is on the agenda. And
That's right.
The old Murph workout. And we had a good time here at CrossFit Ridge City. We had, man, I don't know, probably 50 or so people come through, 3 different hours set aside for it over the weekend, a couple on Saturday, one on Monday. And it hurts like it always does for me.
Just to recap, I think that we have a few listeners that just may not be 100% familiar with what Murph is, but it's a 1 mile run, and then you come back in and do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 air squats.
Yep.
And then you go for another mile run. And it's to honor Sergeant. Was he a sergeant? Lieutenant Murphy, who, if you've heard of Lone Survivor, he was a part of that group of men that, and he went to call for help and ended up giving his life in doing so. And so we honor him by doing this workout. It was his workout. He kind of spearheaded it. He invented it, so to say. And so we do that in memorial of him and to honor all of the veterans on Memorial Day.
Yep. All of those that have paid that price for us, right?
Yes.
It's pretty cool because I don't know how it is nowadays, but back in 2008, I think, whenever this workout was made, a couple of months after he was killed, they only made these hero workouts at that time for CrossFitters who died in duty, essentially, or in the line of duty. And it's pretty amazing that this is a workout that he did often. The story goes, he called it body armor, and he wore a vest and built himself up for that, right? But it's challenging. It kicks my tail, and I try to get through it every year. Very average time from what I'm used to for myself. But Rob, I think you had a pretty good experience overall, right?
Yeah. So a little bit of backstory. I am not the best runner. I'm a short guy. Any kind of body weight things I'm going to excel at, except for running. I've just got short legs, and I've always struggled with any kind of running workout. Now, if it's a sprint, I'm super quick. We're at 100 meters. I'm going to fly by you. But if it's a mile and then we have other work to do, I'm going to be slow as Christmas. But so I guess actually almost 2 years ago, probably, I started training for Murph. I really set out. I really wanted to get my time down on Murph, and running was one of those things that I was just really slow at. And so I got down to a 9-minute mile. 9 minutes. And so last year for Murph, I knew that I could get the mile in 9 minutes, and then I knew that I could do the pull-ups unpartitioned. So just do straight 100 pull-ups. I knew I could get that done almost in about 9 minutes, maybe less. And then move on to the push-ups, which are actually my weakest link.
Yep.
And my goal last year was 45 minutes. That was my goal for Murph. I was going to try to do everything in under 45 minutes. I got to the push-ups. I was making good timing. Like I was keeping track on my watch on my time. Got to the push-ups and the wheels fell off.
Yep, that's normal for me too.
I hated every bit of it. Couldn't do it. I got so mad at myself and ended up taking like an hour and 15 minutes, I think, something like that, something crazy like that.
You got into that pain
to get it
cave,
all
huh?
done. Yeah. It was deep dark road of the pain cave, and I didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
it was kind of crazy.
Well, so anyway, go ahead.
So coming into this year, I told myself no expectations. That was my goal. My goal was no expectations.
Going blind.
I'm out here having fun, just working out. Uh, so it was raining for one, a good steady drizzle, which actually was probably good because it kind of kept things cool.
Yeah, it felt great.
Um, I came off my first run at 9 minutes and 21 seconds. So I was like, oh, that's okay. We're good.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. And then I wanted to, instead of doing everything unpartitioned, meaning straight through, just 100 pull ups, 200 push ups, 300 air squats, I wanted to do our other girl workout, Cindy, I'm sorry, Cindy,
Yeah,
where it's 20 rounds of 5 pull ups, 10 push ups, 15 air squats, and just do that for the middle section. And so I did that. And so we did Cindy about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
And in 20 minutes, I did 19 rounds. So that's almost around a minute. So
Right.
I knew that I could do that with a run at the beginning.
Good.
So, um, so this time, so Murph came up, did my 9 minute, 21-second mile, and then came in to do Cindy. And I got Cindy done in 20 minutes and 21 minutes, 24 seconds.
Perfect. So you held like that very similar pace then.
So I
Yeah.
held a very similar pace
That's
as Cindy. And the last part of the last run was just kind of icing on the cake. I barely jogged it. Came in. So my Murph time this year, 43 minutes and 33 seconds.
love it. Didn't set the
So
goal, but still able to meet it.
right, no expectations.
That's
And
cool.
I may have, like, in the very back of my mind, I thought if I hit 45 minutes, I'm going to be so pumped. Of
And
course, and I
I
did
mean,
crushed it. Yeah, I did it.
yeah, the
Um,
past couple of months, your workouts, your times and efforts have been improving, and so
mm, thank you.
you see it's paying off, right? Yeah.
Right.
That's the cool thing about what we do, right? You can see over the past couple of months, you can say, well, I'm actually finishing really good compared to everybody else.
Mm,
A lot of people hate the comparison of CrossFit. I love it for that reason. We go through
right.
these ups and downs, but we get to see where are we in comparison to like the population of the gym that I'm at or the area. And you get to know, like, am I feeling it? Am I not? How's it going? And then you get to make adjustments to your lifestyle, get more sleep, eat better
Hmm.
food, right? All those things. Maybe just the sun coming out and being up till 8 o'clock at night is actually helpful to you, and gives you more energy,
Right.
so you're able to do better. You get to see all those things and then compare, and then that then carries over. And there's a lot of momentum that rolls into that and
Mm,
continues to make you better and therefore more fit.
yep. Yeah, it was. I was quite surprised about that time. What was your time?
I was around 54 minutes this year. I've gone back and forth on doing it. I struggle with that volume of push-ups. It kills me.
It does.
And so my goal this year was to do it completely unpartitioned. I didn't wear a vest. I was going body weight. Did the
Hmm.
run. That's fine. Did the pull-ups. I got off the run and the pull-ups fairly fast, and then got 100 push-ups in and hit this big wall. And
Mm,
sadly enough, I knew I was behind pace from my goal of sub 45 because I did have that goal set this year. I want to be sub 45 unpartitioned go. I was behind my pace pretty substantially, and I gave in and I adjusted. And so at
mm,
100 push-ups in, I decided, hey, I'm going to go 20 sets of 5 push-ups, 15 air squats, and then just finish it all. Finish the remaining work that way. And did that, did the run fine in the rain in the last bit, and finished in 54. So it was still challenging. And what I said to everyone was like, hey, it's going to suck at some point. That's the purpose of this workout, honestly, for
right.
us. When it sucks, just don't give up. That may mean that you have to go up to an alternate plan, but just don't quit. Just
Hmm.
continue to work. And it's that same feeling every year that you complete this workout, that I complete this workout. It's going good. I'm really positive until I get about halfway in. And I'm like, oh man, I've got a long ways to go. So,
I think I got this from you, but with the 45 minute. thing.
Mhm.
So I've told myself, if I can get this under 45 minutes, then the next year I'll try it with a vest.
There you go. Right.
So now I have to. So now, like,
Yeah.
I think I have to do that, which I'm not
I
looking
think
forward to
that's you
next
don't
year.
have
But
to. You don't have to, but to me, it's an allowance now. You're allowed to almost. And
you're allowed to. I like
yeah,
it.
even though I say it that way to myself, I don't enforce that in the gym. If you want to wear a vest on Murph and take an hour and 15 minutes, do it. I'm fine with that. As long
Right.
as you're safe, go through, work. It's going to suck. That's fine. But to me, I have said for years that realistically, we don't need a vest on Murph if we can't do it unpartitioned under 45 minutes.
Mm.
Now, granted, you broke it up, but still, you did that. You did Cindy, and you just did 20 rounds of Cindy in 21 minutes. I think you
Right.
got it. You know, so
Right.
it's like now take that next step next year for it to be more challenging.
Now I've got a year to practice a couple
Yeah.
other workouts with a vest, so that
All that
then
to
next year.
say, if you're consistent in training and life
Right.
stays like it is, and you're able to hold a healthy year, right? Then, yeah, next year, let's do it with a vest.
Yeah.
I'll be
We'll
like,
see.
Robbie, remember whenever on episode 6, whenever we talked about it and you said you were going to?
And now it's out there on the world in the world where I have to
Yeah,
stick with what I say.
that's right.
So
I didn't meet my goal, so I have to go body weight again next year.
we'll see.
But it was a good
So
time. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it was great. I was honestly, I was pleasantly surprised with the amount of people that we had.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
the
awesome,
rain.
and we always have a group of ruck guys
Mhm.
that just come out, former um, former Marines or Army or former
Yeah,
servicemen that come out
a
to
couple of them are active law
active.
enforcement. Yep.
So we always have a group come out, and they just rucked the whole time. So it was cool, cool to see them.
Yeah, they did, and one cool thing about that and the way that we do it, like there's adjustments galore, scales galore for how we do these workouts.
Right.
So, any of you guys listening, if you're like, Murph, that sounds terrible. I mean, hit us up. We'll give you options on based on your experience on how you could tackle it yourself. You can go to any gym, any park that has a pull-up bar, and you can complete this thing. And it's a good experience to challenge yourself. It doesn't have to be Memorial Day weekend. You can remember Michael Murphy and those that have given their lives for you and your freedoms anytime. So take it on at any point that you want to. And also, like, if you want to get better and you're like, that sounds like something I could never do, I would say that's bullcrap, and you can. And come into CrossFit Ridge City, and I'll help you get to those goals. So,
We have a mutual friend who does not CrossFit,
right.
and came in this year and did Murph with us.
I
Uh,
haven't talked to him since. How's he doing?
he said it was really hard to sit 3 days
Yeah,
after.
yeah, yeah. I need to check in with him, make sure he's good.
Uh,
But
yeah,
we're a
he's
few
good.
days out now. I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine now. So, as I said with Murph, from last year to this year, I had a goal. I had a goal in mind. Do
Mhm.
you have any goals in the gym, in the CrossFit gym?
I do. For me, the goals that I have, we have a goal board to my left over here that
Mhm.
has anybody in the gym write your name on it, write a goal that you have on there. The two goals that I put on that gym or on that board in the gym here for me are very, very far reaching goals. Like they seem like they are impossible. For a lot of people, they can even do them currently, but I just am not. I set them way out, and probably shouldn't have set them so far out because so I'll actually try for them. But I do have two goals on the board up there. What about you?
Yes. So I have two goals on there. They're also equally. Um, they seem daunting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, I had three, and I hit one of them. I hit a 185-pound snatch
Awesome. Yeah,
last year, I
that's one
think.
of mine. Right. Yep.
Um, that was a big goal. So I hope I'm not lying in this, but the CrossFit Games 2020, 2013, there was a clean and jerk ladder. Chris Spieler,
Oh yeah.
he was a athlete. It was one of his last years, and the opening weight on the ladder was 235.
Opening weight.
The opening weight on the clean and jerk ladder was 235. I think I'm pretty sure of that.
I'm looking it up
He
right
hit
now.
he hit that. It made me maybe 2014, somewhere in there.
225. It was
225.
2000. Yep, it was 2013. So good job. It is the clean and jerk ladder is what it's called, and the opening weight for men was 225, and then it
Okay.
jumped up 10 pounds throughout the entirety of
Okay.
the week.
So that's right. So Spieler,
Mhm.
he was a great athlete, phenomenal athlete. He's
Probably
about
weighed 160.
so he's about my size. Me and him, we like he weighs 160, I weigh 160, 165.
Mhm.
5'5", I'm a pretty short guy, and I think he is too. So he hit the 225 and did not complete the 235. And
Wow.
so my goal, I've always had a goal of hitting a clean and jerk at 235. And so I'm at 245 now. No,
Heck yeah, man.
let me make sure on that. I might be lying to you. Yes, 245. That's where I'm at on my clean and jerk. So anyway, I knew that I could, the snatch being similar to the clean and jerk, I knew that I could get up there pretty quick, up there
Yeah.
close to that. So I hit the 185. I have a goal of 200, and you might as well throw on. I mean, because the way the weights work on your bar, it might as well be 205.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty daunting task. We'll see if I ever get that.
Yeah.
The other one is I think I have on the board. It just says proficient at double unders. I'm
Mhm.
not proficient at all. I don't like double unders. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm never going to the games, the CrossFit games. I might as well just do
Yeah.
singles. It's the same amount of work.
It is.
Um,
Yep.
but just because I like to challenge myself,
Yeah.
uh, when I say proficient at double unders, I think my goal is 50 unbroken.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not there
awesome.
yet. So
Cool.
anyway,
That's what
those are my goals in the gym.
Yeah. I'm at I have goals. Mine are the 185 squat snatch,
Mm-hmm.
and because I've done 185 a few times overhead, I snatched in a power snatch, but squat snatching 185 is one of mine, which seems impossible. My hips, I just do not get to the bottom of a squat quickly, and so to get heavy on that, I struggle with. But also, same applies. My squatting is not my. I say that back squatting and front squatting and cleans, I can do fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if I single leg or if I go power snatch, then or squat snatch, I struggle. So, but to add to that, like a pistol is very, very challenging.
Mm.
Uh,
Interesting.
I've never done a pistol in 15 years of doing CrossFit. A pistol is a one-legged squat, and never done one full. And that's on my goal board. But they seem far. But how do we get there, Rob? How do we get to those goals?
Consistency, showing up every day, and not just doing that work to get to those goals, but
Yeah.
all the little pieces in between. That's why that's why I'm going today to deadlift, so that I can be able to get that weight.
Yep.
So why do we set those goals? That's the question.
I set those goals for me. If you're asking me to answer that, I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
I set those goals so that I'm not sitting stagnant or
Mm-hmm.
getting worse, like something to work towards for improvement.
Right. Right. I think that's good. I think I have we can, and this kind of touches on our second part of goal setting, but I have some lifetime goals
Mm-hmm.
too. Not just in the gym, but this it may be a little funny, but I have a lifetime goal of hitting 80 years old and being able to hop on a bike.
Oh, nice. I like it.
So the next to walking, a bicycle is the next form of mode of transportation. I know there's running, but running is it takes more effort. Whereas a bike, you can coast down a hill. You can even on a flat surface. Now going uphill that's another thing, but
Yeah.
even on a flat surface, there is some tension where you have to pedal, but
Yeah.
you
Extra
can
balance that's
coast.
required for that. Yeah.
For an 80-year-old man, that's my goal. I want to be able to hit 80 and get on a bike,
Okay.
and so that's one reason why I'm in the gym every day, or any day that I can be
Every week. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
every week. Um, and so that's that's a fitness goal
Mm-hmm.
as a older gentleman, and then you know I, in life I think it's important to have these goals so that we have something to hope for, to look
Mm-hmm.
forward to. Uh, Without hope, then we just lose sight of everything. We lose sight of of life. What are we doing this for? Why are we fathers? Why are we
Mm-hmm.
uh, husbands? What is our purpose of trying to make this work? Well, we have to set goals to in order to get there.
Yeah. That brings me, like, when you say that, and I'm not your if you know me, like, I'm not the go-to, like, religious answer guy. Like, I'm not the guy that answers with, like, I'm blessed or amen to that
Right.
or whatever, right? Like, not your go-to religious guy. But when you say, like, it gives us hope, I immediately do go to, like, well, that's why Jesus came. And
Absolutely.
that's not why he came, but it's one thing we get when we follow Jesus. I guess let me
Right.
say it that way, right? He came for us. He came to give us life eternally, and here on earth and in heaven in the future,
Mm.
to be with him. But when we get our heads down here, when we struggle with life here, we we have hope in him that, like, when this is all said and done, that we're going to be in glory, right,
Hmm.
for eternity. That's a big deal and allows us to live here well. Now it doesn't go to goal setting as much because, like, he's done, he's completed it. I almost said he's did it. He's completed it, and all we have to do is follow him in that. But I think what that does for us is allows us to, like, it does allow us hope to set goals to be better people, to be better fathers, to be people who love people around us, and who want to bring them to Jesus as well. And we can set goals in that way. I guess help me tie that in, right? Like,
So
how do we together?
I want my children to be good, godly
Hmm.
people when they are in their 30s, 40s, when they are leading their own families. And so if that's a goal of mine, I want them. That's a long term goal of mine is to have them be lead a good godly family. And
Yep.
so if that's my goal for their future, then my goal for my family now is to be an example of that. And so yes, we have the hope
Love it.
in Jesus, but but we and not but and our hope is in Jesus, and we look to that um, as a goal to be more like Him.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so, like, if every day we're in the gym and we're setting this goal to be fit and to be better attuned to our bodies and attuned to our minds, then that goal setting gets easier
Yeah.
because we see clearly that goal that we have in mind for the future, and we can act and take the necessary steps to get there.
Sorry, I've got somebody at the door up here knocking on it. It's a 3-year-old little girl. I've told to wait. I got
Great.
distracted.
Sorry.
Sorry. Um, so yeah, but yes, back, like, coming to that, setting those goals is easier, right? Recapping that at
Right.
the end.
Right.
When we have hope in Jesus and we want those things, we want our kids to have that hope, we want our family to have that hope, we're then able to set the goals to get them there as well,
Hmm.
working backwards through it.
And I think just clarification, focus. You know that we talked about with Adrian. we have, or what we have, or I'm sorry, we didn't talk with Adrian about that. It was one of our episodes on. It was our episode on. Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank. When we have focus, we have a more clear mind, and when we can write down, physically write down. Here's my notebook. When we write down our goals, we can look to that every day and know, okay, this is what I've got to do. What do I have to do today in order to get there tomorrow, in 5 years, in 10 years?
Step by step, like that's where my mind goes often.
Right.
Is step by step, one step at a time. Just like in Murph, when it hurts and you just stepped out the door and you've got another mile to complete. The only way you're going to complete that mile is taking another step. It's not stopping. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, if you're out running, I don't care if you're walking, just do not stop. Just keep moving. Same in here in CrossFit workouts. So one of the biggest keys to doing well in CrossFit and honestly into gaining more fitness in general, what weightlifting, bodybuilding, all that, it's what my hat says. It's go one more. That's that BPN, Bear Performance Nutrition statement. It's go another one, do another one more step at a time. But we have to know what steps those are. And I think that's where that ties back to you and setting those goals. If we're just walking in an aimless direction, we don't know where we're going to end up.
Right.
But if we have those goals to then work back to take that step towards that goal, and then we get to evaluate. We get to step back periodically and look at our life with our family, look at our life and our fitness. Am I going the direction I want to go? Rob, this year, his Murph time was 43 minutes. He looks at that and he says, okay, this was a goal I set a couple of years ago. Am I heading in the right direction? Well, I met the goal. So yeah, I am heading in the right direction because now I'm there. I've attained it and my fitness is working for that. So therefore, we're continue to build on those blocks, right? And I think that applies well into our family and into our spiritual walk. If our goals are for our family to know Jesus or to be godly people, what's a next step that we would take in that?
Right. Yeah.
It gets overwhelming sometimes, though.
It can, but I think that's where you break it down day by day. You break it down to days, even by hour. Like, what is your goal for this hour? To focus in on my work and get today done, and then move on to the next one.
Man, you're right. Some days it's like that. It's hour to hour.
Yep.
Well, that's good, man. I appreciate.
My hope is that other men can take this and like, if they're not setting goals for themselves, like get a simple notebook and start meditating on what your goals for your life are and what goals for your family are. And then also, here's a plug: we can help in the CrossFit space. You set goals in there, and then it helps with external goals as well.
Yeah, like we're doing cool things in fitness and trying to do cool things with men and their families and in their spiritual life. Like, we want to be a place to connect. And I think if you are, in our area, reach out to us, right? If you're in Northeast Arkansas, give us a shout. Like, we'd love to talk with you, help you find someone to mentor, to disciple you in fitness and faith, whatever that is. I think another goal, like you said, is writing down those goals, but is also to find a mentor or someone to disciple you in the ways that have worked for them. Look at somebody who has a little bit more time under their belt, right? And maybe has a family who their kids are older and they know Jesus and they are on the path that you want to be on. As we talk about that often, right? Like, surround yourself with those people, ask those questions, and then take those steps as they lead and guide you.
Right. It's good.
Yeah, dog. Well, good job. I've got to wrapping stuff up here at the gym to get ready for the 4 o'clock. I hope you can make it.
Yep. I will be there.
4 o'clock today. We got some deadlifts. I'm going to get that workout in here shortly. Stay tuned for episode 7 coming up next week. And we've got some cool people lined up coming down the pipe. I'm really
I meant
excited.
to ask you about, one of those. So
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll see that. We'll
I've
see
got
about
some
that.
local people I want to get on board as well. So I think it's gonna be a good time. So, all right. Well, peace out. We'll see you
All right.
guys next week.
Awesome.